Sorry that took so long, and hello, my souls. Welcome back. And I have to rant about something. I really do. Because somebody decided it was a good idea to fuck my day by initially asking, what constitutes stalking? Now, I know what constitutes stalking legally, I know what constitutes stalking socially. In a lot of cases, they're not exactly equal. Because socially, I could say that each and every one of you currently watching me right now is a stalker. I mean, you're watching me in the privacy of my home, correct? The problem with saying that is that I am broadcasting publicly. Now, legally there is a issue when public tries to be made private, or people try to make public private. The best example I can give is that, let's say somebody's at or on a street corner recording. That's completely legal. 100% within their right to do that. Anybody that walks in front of their camera has effectively voided their right to, privacy, in the sense that they're actively being recorded in a public space. Technically, anybody who walks into a public space is at risk of being recorded. Now, with that in mind, we're going to go into a few things, and I'm going to rant. Because I'm really tired of people being whiny-ass crybullies trying to claim that somebody watching their content is a stalker when they have no fucking idea what an actual stalker is. So before we go any further, I'm going to point this out. Some of the things I'm going to say in this are probably going to piss people off. Understand that these rants are entirely my perspective on things. And if I offend you, oh fucking well. Because I'm sorry, when it gets to a point where I have to rant about dumbasses making legal claims for somebody they don't want watching their content, you know it's bad. So, first things first, understand, anybody who puts out public content, like a content creator, anyone who puts out stuff like what I do publicly, has effectively waived their right to privacy on that particular instance. So, for example, I can't say that, oh, only this person and this person and this person are allowed to watch one of my old streams because it's private, when it's still actively open to the public, is fucking moronic. Or me saying, hey, you're not allowed to come watch my videos because I dislike you, when they're still public, again, is moronic. And yes, I know, I can ban people. I can block them from chatting and commenting on the channel. Do you know what that doesn't actually do? Stop them from watching. The only way to do that would be to make a channel private. So, the issue here is that there is a particular content creator that has been an issue for at least one person that I'm 100% aware of now for weeks. This content creator is effectively repeatedly banning this individual and then welcoming them back into the Discord that they run, continuously kicking them from Twitch streams, but not actively permanently banning them, saying that their presence is remarkably annoying to them, but not actively doing anything to stop them from interacting in any way. It's almost like they're making a spectacle of the fact that they don't like this person. Most recently, they've decided to start calling this individual a stalker. Because this person is watching their TikTok content. I want to ask all of you here currently. If you make a public TikTok video, does it mean that somebody watching your content constitutes stalking? Like, I want to know from you guys, what does that constitute? Like, if you make a private video and people watch it, are those people watching it stalking you? Because I know where I stand. I know what common sense dictates. I want to hear from you guys. Andy, this rant is about an entirely stupid group of individuals that intentionally try to be continuously triggered and intentionally try to demonize anybody that they dislike for the sake of content. So a good number of you out there are reasonable and actually have a brain. Because the majority of you out there are saying, no, it's not stalking. If it is made for public entertainment purposes, then somebody watching it doesn't constitute stalking. The issue here arises because apparently there is a growing trend, and yes, I'm tugging my beard a little bit because it's... for those who don't know, what I am doing right now is a form of stimming. I'm trying not to yell. So, the issue here arises because there is a group of, well, actually a fair number of content creators who believe that they should have the right to dictate who is and is not allowed to publicly, or to view their public content. And who like to claim that anyone they dislike viewing their content is tantamount to criminal stalking. You see where this is going? Understand, as a content creator, we have block buttons. We have the ability to ignore. We have the ability to mute people, time them out. We have the ability to already kick people away from the ability to communicate with us, but people are taking it further and claiming that they want to be able to claim that somebody is stalking them just for watching what is effectively a public display. To me, this is no different than somebody who goes out in public and makes a spectacle of themselves, bitching and complaining because somebody started recording in a public place. And I need to point this out to you, but there's no reasonable there is a reasonable expectation of privacy in public places. However, what is reasonable is kind of a slim thing. A good example. You can't go out into, like, let's say, uh Walmart, not a, I can't say a Walmart parking lot because that's private property. You can't go out into like a state park, which is government owned, and then claim that no one's allowed to record you ever and no one's allowed to look at you ever because your privacy is being infringed. If you're in a public place, like on a sidewalk or what have you, anybody who wants to record you can fucking record you. Anybody who wants to look at you or interact with you can interact with you. Anyone who has the idea that it is not allowed or illegal to do either of these things in a public place is a fucking Karen. I mean, Fourth Amendment actually protects you from unreasonable search and seizure. However, the United States generally does not protect privacy in public spaces. This means that people have little to no expectation of privacy when their actions or conversations are in public view. Best example I can give is public spaces. There's a First Amendment protection for privacy in public spaces. For example, it's legal to take photos in public spaces even if the photos are embarrassing. So there's, by the way, I'm reading off of a thing here. There is little First Amendment protection for privacy in public spaces. For example, it's legal to take photos in public spaces even if the photos are embarrassing. Let's look at this for you. Public information. There is no expectation of privacy from information that is already in public domain, such as phone numbers, GPS locations, and discarded trash. However, there are some laws that protect people from having their private details made public. For example, people can sue if somebody puts them in a false light or publicly discloses private information. So, let's say I was having a conversation back and forth on my phone with somebody and they say something that's, embarrassing, let's say. It is technically illegal for me to then screenshot that and put it out there in public going, hey, look, everybody, this guy's a moron. However, that's because there is an expectation of privacy in that instance. If the same thing were to happen by, say, somebody doing something embarrassing when we're leaving Chili's and going to the car, there's no expectation of privacy in that situation, because if somebody saw it and fucking recorded it, they can then post that information wherever the fuck they want. However, there's a growing trend of content creator Karens who are just like, I don't like you, you weird me out, so you're not allowed to watch my content anymore. Is it just me, or does that sound a little nuts? Like, genuinely, these are the kind of people that most people mock. Because of the fact that they are demanding privacy, demanding to be pandered to by the entire world when they are actively initiating in public dialogue or in public fucking discourse. This is like going to Central Park, putting yourself up on a fucking pedestal, screaming that you're a dumbass, and then blaming people for calling you a dumbass. I mean, come the fuck on. People like this make me suicidally angry. Because, I'm sorry, But if you are going to become a content creator, if you want your shit to be public, or if you want your shit to be private, do so on members-only accounts. Do so on accounts where only people that have access can see it. If you post on something like fucking TikTok or Twitter or YouTube or Instagram or any fucking public social media site, then expect that what you're saying is tantamount to having a conversation on the fucking sidewalk outside. Anybody can see you, anybody can hear you, anybody can interact with you. And you have, at that point, no right to say, you're strange, you get to fuck off. Because I'm sorry, at that point, you're trying to dictate other people's rights. And I'm sorry, if your rights infringe on the rights of others, you do not have that as a human right, or as a right in general. Like, you don't have the ability to dictate who can and cannot view something that is public. I mean, go for it, Burb. If you want, I can pop you into the thing. Like, I can... if you want, I can pull you into a party so you can share. Okie doke. I need to stop eating these before I poison myself. So, another thing I need to point out. What is the legal definition of stalking somebody? Stalking is a pattern of repeated and unwanted attention, harassment, contact, or any other course of conduct that directed at a specific person that would cause a reasonable person to feel fear. I'm gonna give you guys a hypothetical. So, you're a content creator, about 1,000 followers and all that, and you have somebody that is socially awkward that asks one of your friends, hey, how do I get to know this individual? What do they like to talk about? Like, what topics should I avoid? Is that stalking? Like, would you count that as stalking somebody? Like, somebody who is asking one of your friends, like, best example I can give is, hey, Burb, if somebody asked you how they can approach me safely, like, without pissing me off, would that count as stalking? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's socially awkward. It's fucking weird a little bit, but I wouldn't count that as stalking personally. And by legal definition, it sure as fuck is not. Because if somebody is asking, hey, how do I, interact with this person without pissing them off, there's no reason why I would be afraid of that person. Now, if somebody was asking, hey, how can I piss this person off intentionally, that would be a little different. Well, yeah, no, I get it. It's odd. There are people who are socially awkward. In fact, I've actually had this issue arise at least once where somebody was asking other people, hey, what's okay to talk about around this person? I don't really know them too well. I want to get to know them a little better and be able to interact, but I'm worried that I might make them mad. Yeah, that's weird. Is it stalking by legal definition? No. Now, let's say this person got banned by me, decided to start harassing my friends, got banned by or got blocked by them, made new accounts, continued to ask, continued to be invasive as fuck. That would be stalking. But simply asking, yo, how do I talk to this person without freaking them out? That's not. Oh, Jesus fucking. The party system is fucking dying here. So let's get Burb into this, shall we?
Hello.
Hello there, Burb.
Hello.
Oh, ooh.
First off, nom on your face. I'm nom nom.
Oh, ooh.
Second, this has to do with what you said about privacy. One of my biggest pet peeves at work is when people start taking pictures inside the hospital.
Yeah, no, that's hospitals are a private place. Understand.
But I do.
People can record outside of hospitals, but even though they are technically government run, hospitals are a private place. Most of them are privately owned, and because of the fact that there's a confidentiality requirement in that particular line of work, because of things like what is it?
HIPAA.
HIPAA. Thank you. Why'd I think HEMA? There's privacy in HEMA while you're getting body checked by some dude in armor. Yeah, no, but because of HIPAA laws, you can't record in hospitals. But I'm talking more like if somebody is recording on the street and you happen to pass by them during their recording, you can't then turn around and scream at them that they're invading your privacy.
No, that he's just being a dumbass.
Yeah. So second
The whole
thing,
thing.
continue.
The whole thing that I agree with. That's what sets me off about this whole thing. Is the amount of people who think they look up one definition and think they're legal scholars. Yeah, people spend their entire life studying law and they're still learning. Your one internet search does not mean a law degree.
Understand? I will be the first one to explain this. I'm not a legal scholar in any fucking sense. I just know laws better than your average individual because I've studied them. The
I'm in
person
that
that
boat for a different
no,
reason.
the person that this rant is technically about, and I'm not going to name names just because I'm not that kind of asshole right now, probably hasn't even looked up the fucking laws around stalking. They're just claiming that somebody is a stalker because a socially awkward individual was too afraid to, you know, confront them directly, so asked somebody who knew them, yo, how can I avoid pissing this person off? I want to actually make a good impression. And the content creator in question is claiming that that is stalking and harassment.
I would consider that flattering.
Understand, let me put it to you this way. If somebody who is new to the Discord, new to the channel and all that, came to you and asked, hey, what topics should I avoid to keep from, like, getting Kit angry? What would you tell them? Would you count that as stalking? Would you sit there and report to me, oh, this creep is being fucking weird?
No, I'd ask them what they wanted to know. And if they were being
Bingo.
honest, like I said, I would find this flattering. It's like they're trying to get to know somebody. They're trying to avoid.
Bingo, and quite honestly, so would I. Understand, socially awkward people exist. They're not trying to be creepy. They're not trying to be fucking weird. But understand, there are some people out there. Best example I can give. There is a young lady that came up to me at a con and apparently finally got the fucking what's the word? The courage to actually approach me directly. Came up and said, "Hi, I know who you are. I've watched your channel for years. I wanted to come up and say hi and ask if I could have a hug." That's perfectly fine. This girl had been watching the channel for years and apparently had been trying to come up with a way to talk with me. And had even mentioned that she had considered, trying to ask questions of the, moderators or, start conversations in chat during streams just to, like, try to get my attention. Kind of like some of you guys have straight up done. Uh, and just couldn't, like, work up the courage to do so. Socially awkward people exist. However, if somebody is socially awkward and you brand them a criminal and a freak, that's not okay. I'm sorry. Trying to claim that somebody is a stalker, which, by the way, I've had real stalkers. They're not fun. Branding somebody a stalker for asking a question makes you the asshole. Branding somebody a freak for not immediately knowing how to be, good in social situations makes you the asshole.
It.
Hmm.
If that person would have came up to me at a convention and said they were a fan of yours, you know what my first instinct was to say?
Hmm.
Would you like me to introduce you?
Bingo! I'm sorry, that's what most sane people would think. Hey, this is a fan. Well, I'm a friend of the creator. Would you like me to introduce you? That should be a normal response, not come report to me and tell me that some freak is stalking them. Or that some freak is stalking me.
But then again, I'm
Here's
a.
here's the thing. In this particular situation, though, One of this content creator's friends thought it was creepy and reported to the content creator. Content creator blew everything out of proportion, claimed they were being stalked, being harassed, being effectively having their entire life invaded by this one person who was asking a question. The rest of their friends told them, dude, chill, you're being a fucking dumbass. And then they doubled and tripled down on their fucking bullshit. The majority of this dude's own friends were telling him, dude, relax, it's just a socially awkward dude. They just wanted to get to know you better. And they still freaked the fuck out and labeled this person a stalker, which, by the way, stalking is a crime, and a freak. They've apparently repeatedly banned this individual and then dropped the ban multiple times and allowed them to come back, just so they could re-ban them. This feels like somebody being a cry-bully bitch. It looks more like somebody doing shit like... Pardon, my dinner tried to come back up on me. This looks like somebody trying to play the victim for the fucking sake of social points. And quite honestly, people like that drive me absolutely batshit crazy. It's no different than a fucking... in my eyes, it's no different socially than a Karen coming up and screaming at somebody, and when they get the slightest amount of pushback, throwing themselves on the ground and claiming, "Oh, you beat the hell out of me! I'm dying! Call the cops!"
Pardon me, but I found that funny.
I've had that happen in real fucking life! I shit you not. I was at a gas station. Somebody straight up called me a faggot for this piercing. And then when I told them to go fuck off, they threw themselves on the ground and started screaming for help. I wish I had caught that shit on fucking film, but my camera had been dead that day. Jesus. By the way, this had been the same woman who, the reason she called me a faggot was because I told her that whipping her titties out at the fucking dude behind the counter because she wanted to fuck him probably wasn't a good idea because this was a public place and you're on camera. This lady had literally yanked her fucking titty out of her shirt and was trying to flirt, like, fairly drunkenly, mind you, with the dude behind the fucking bar, who, by the way, had been a minor. Dude was 17. So I'm sitting here going, bitch, you probably should put that away. What you're doing is illegal. She called me a fag, and I told her to go the fuck out, get the fuck out of the gas station. And she flipped the fuck out, threw herself on the ground, and started screaming.
So she was recording for an indecent exposure, then trying to fake a crime.
Where I live, they don't come after you for indecent exposure. The cops hardly come here when there are gunshots, bro.
I'm just clarifying for the people watching.
But yeah, what she was doing was drunken indecency, indecent exposure, and technically sexual contact with a minor. And then when I told her to get the fuck out because she had crossed the line with me by using that slur, she flipped out and started trying to claim that I had been beating the shit out of her. Which was kind of hilarious because I am a relatively, I might be a slightly intimidating individual in person. I can be. Ain't got nothing on the fucking owner of that gas station, who at that point was coming out of the back room and was getting ready to pick this woman up by the back of her head and throw her through the door. Mind you, the doors are not automatic. So, I need to point out, the dude that owns that gas station is like 6'4" and built like a brick fucking wall. Oh, woo.
Can I jump back to a previous point I wanted to make?
Go for it.
This is where I'm technically really lucky. I remember when I first met you, I was extremely nervous around anybody that wasn't you in the chat.
Yeah.
But then over the years, I started getting more extroverted around you. And it's like, I got lucky growing up in a family of extroverts.
Huh. So, understand, I'm an introvert myself normally. I just happen to be that kind of introvert that encourages other introverts to be a little more extroverted and, you know, help them create social circles. Even if my stupid ass prefers, like, solitude. Mostly because I know what the hell it's like to live as an introvert for the majority of my fucking life, and it's not fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, I 100% enjoy the time I spend alone with myself, and that sounds really fucking wrong. But at the same time, I know what it's like to actually have friends and go out and do shit and actually have a good time. I'd rather people get to experience that than spend their entire life just fucking cooped up in a room, never talking to anyone.
Also, there's another skill that's actually that would be key to discuss right now.
What's up?
Making a good first impression.
I'm dying, apparently. Fucking drink went down the wrong pipe. My drink went down the wrong throat. Pardon me.
Nope. Like that content creator keeps blocking and unblocking that person.
Precisely.
Anybody who's first
Continue.
Anybody whose first impression of that person is that, they're automatically never going to want to watch that person.
Well, see, that's the other thing. This is where this gets stupid. Because, would you like to know the full context of all of this?
That would be very much appreciated.
It gets much, much worse. The content creator in question keeps unblocking him because he wants the individual in question to change. Or so he says. The content creator wants this individual to respect their boundaries, but has never set any boundaries. Like 100%. Even acknowledged that they don't set boundaries for the people who watch their content, so it's partially their fault. How do you respect boundaries when there are no boundaries? I mean, beyond the common sense ones of don't be fucking absolutely horrendous.
Which this person's also not respecting.
No shit. It feels like they're being either intentionally or unintentionally manipulative. And then trying to use the situation as a, oh no, poor me, I'm being stalked. Like, I get it. It's one thing if you're gonna block somebody and then tell them kindly fuck off if they keep trying to come back, like what I've been doing with our, favorite psychotic fuck stalker that we've had to deal with for like the last month now. But understand, the difference here is I'm not unblocking this fucking individual and letting them come back each time. If I had been, most people would call me crazy. Like, I'm sorry, repeatedly blocking somebody and then the next day welcoming them back into your life because you want them to change is not a good thing. It really isn't. I get, yelling at somebody. I get, ranting at them, ranting to them, ranting about them. If you genuinely want somebody to change, help them fucking change. But don't sit there and every single time they try to interact, block them and claim to be the victim, and then the next day welcome them back in. But that seems like a very common thing for content creators to do nowadays, is fucking block somebody so they can play the victim, just to unblock them and rinse and repeat the next fucking day. And it drives me absolutely up a wall. What do you think?
I think it's definition of insanity.
Kind of, yeah. Also, that sounded like a fucking toilet flushing, and I'm sorry. If that had been your response, it would have been just fucking perfect.
It wasn't my response, though. I just unmuted myself too soon.
So it was a toilet flushing.
Sorry about that.
No worries, it was perfect. It was the perfect soundbite for the fucking situation. Because I'm sorry, that's just the perfect example of a shit show.
But no, like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Especially, like, within a day. And I'm sorry. If you actually genuinely want someone to change, teach them. Understand it's not going to take a day or a couple hours or even a couple weeks. It's going to take months to years. But if you genuinely want to help them change, if you genuinely want to see them change, you have to show them that, one, you want them to change, and two, you have to show them in what way. You have to be an example for what you want to see. You can't just sit there and go, I want you to change. Oops, you did something stupid. Blog, oh, poor me, why? And yes, I know I'm making a mockery of this situation because these people deserve to be fucking mocked.
The only thing would I know what just popped in my head, Kit?
Go for it.
The Streisand effect.
Big nose lady has weird situation.
And I actually know what the exact.
What's up?
And I know the whole story behind that phrase. If I can share it.
Go for it. Enlighten us.
Guy was taking geological pictures of the coastline in California, and just so happened to take a picture of Barbara Streisand's house. She tried suing him for invasion of privacy. He wasn't taking it for her house. He was taking it of the erosion.
Okay, so this is actually sounding really familiar.
This is the actual case.
I'm aware, but this is in context here as well. Because content creator is fucking welcoming this person back repeatedly and then bitching that they're having their privacy invaded.
So she sued him and lost. This caused the picture of her house to this lawsuit caused the picture of her house to blow up like crazy.
Yep.
Because if she said nothing, no one would have known it was her house.
Bingo. Jackie, I'm pissed. Like, understand, at around this time, I would be running a D&D game, but given the fact that somebody decided to bring some bullshit to me and fuck my day entirely, I decided to rant instead. Because there's only so much that I can hear about people being fucking dumbasses before I finally have to say fuck it and start barking into the wind.
Well, my first instinct is to start laughing at them.
Normally, I laugh at the absurdity when it happens the first time. When it's the 50th fucking time, then I start getting fucking mad. I'm sorry, it would be for me like watching somebody make the exact same mistake every single solitary day, acknowledge what they have to do to not make that mistake, then make the mistake simply so they can bitch about having made the mistake. Day in and day out. There's only so long and so many times I can deal with that before I just break their fucking face. I just got the stupidest mental image.
I just got one too.
Mine's probably a bit more on the nose. What were you thinking?
The same content creator just busting out the ukulele.
I got the mental image of you falling on the escalator, getting right back up, trying again, falling the immediate, like, within seconds of trying again, and just rinse repeat until you're sitting there with no sense left in your noggin.
Kit,
Yes?
that one thing was stupid enough. I think I learned.
I'm well aware!
Also, the EMTs were right there anyway, so like that would have been even worse.
I'm well aware. Like, understand. In that situation, falling was kind of a, oh shit, that happened. That's perfectly fine. That's kind of normal. Mistakes are made. Mistakes happen. If you had gotten back up and repeatedly made the same mistake over and over and over until you're sitting there so fucked up that you can barely walk, that wouldn't have been, you know, a mistake. That would have been stupidity. And before you ask, yes, I know people who have done effectively that exact same fucking thing. Not in that exact context, but I had a buddy when I was in, like, I think 5th grade, who repeatedly walked into the fucking door every goddamn day because he forgot that it opened outward.
Kit,
Like, we would be at recess walking along and he'd be walking too close to the wall of the building and inevitably somebody would open a door and just BLAH! Oh, and before you ask, fucking lines were painted on the ground to show you where the doors would swing open to. And it happened every day! Also, I
I'm
shit
still
you
laughing
not,
about
I was
the-
a little bit of an asshole with that particular individual because one particular day I just fucking shoved him into one of the doors before it opened. Yes, what was that for? Well, dude, you've been hit by a door every single fucking day this year. It's gonna happen, so let's just get it out of the way.
I still remember the EMTs reacting to all this. What I did.
It's just... Damn, that was one of the best. That was one of the best braces I've ever seen. Are you okay?
I'm good.
Yeah, no, we sat. I remember we sat there chatting with the fucking EMTs afterwards. It's just fucking. These guys are chill. My friend just hit the fucking ground on an escalator because my dumbass tried to run. Because my dumbass ran up it.
And my brain was on low power mode at that time.
So was mine. I hadn't slept well the night prior, but at the same time, uh, you know the saying, "The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog."
Yes.
The quick foxtar jumped and the bird fell. You'd think having more legs would make me more prone to falling on those things.
And you think being a bird, I'd be more agile.
I mean, half expected you just to fly up right behind me. At the same time, I also didn't expect you to try to follow me. Oh. Oh, woo.
Also, sends a nuggies after Jackie. But no, like, I am such a klutz, I've learned how to brace myself backwards.
Yeah, no, I know. You explained that to the EMTs, too. All I can say, though, is from that one interaction, you learned. The fucking content creator in question hasn't. Like, I get it. If you want to block somebody out of your fucking, like, creator space, block them out of your creator space. Go for it. That's your thing. But to then bitch and complain that you have somebody stalking you because they watched one of your TikTok videos. Touch fucking grass, please. Because if you don't, you're going to turn into a psychotic Karen one of these days, and you're probably going to wind up in a prison cell for flashing a titty at a minor.
I got a bad joke. Can I share it?
Go for it.
Isn't that the fate of a lot of Minecraft YouTubers?
Herb, I'm gonna thwap you.
But I'm not wrong.
No, you're not, but still, I'm gonna thwap you. I mean... I've gotta ask, though, which one's worse? Fucking... going full Karen in a fucking... going full Karen in a gas station, or going fucking court jester idiot in the suicide forest, because... both are bad! Like, both are terrible!
I would say the Suicide Forest is worse.
No shit, especially if you're laughing at having found a corpse. Anyone who gets that reference has been on YouTube way too long. Anyways, folks, this is going to be the end of this rant. Just chalk it entirely up to there are too many fucking stupid-ass content creators assuming that they have rights, or that they have, rights that don't exist, or believing that they have the ability to fucking total and absolute privacy when they're standing on a milk crate in the center of town screaming at the top of their lungs in a public place. To me, just reeks of entitled bitch fuck who's doing shit for attention and then trying to demonize other people for even more attention. Anyways, this is where we're gonna leave off. I'm not doing the fucking outro. I'm just... My brain is already lost on this particular shit because I'm sorry. This being brought to me for the umpteenth fucking time actually had me wanting to blow my goddamn brains out this morning. So... Toodles! Also, hello, Pepsi Cat. Oh, woo. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry it was at the end of the, rant. If you want to tune in, like, tomorrow evening, we'll actually have a proper stream then. This is just an unhinged night of me losing my shit at a stupid-ass content creator who thinks somebody asking questions is tantamount to criminal activity.
Let chirp.
Nom the beep.
You get one free nom today.
Nom 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 nom.
Like I'm gonna stop you.
I mean, even if you wanted to, I don't think you could. I am the master of noms. Nom nom.
You are the one who noms?
I am the one who noms. Also, nom nom on everybody. Later, guys.